Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Muhammad Basik and I will be teaching the course of Programming Fundamentals. The course code is EC203, semester 2nd and session 2019 to 23. Before starting the course, I welcome you all, particularly in this course, and I hope so that you will enjoy the course and you will learn many interesting things regarding the programming fundamentals, and you will be able to understand that what kind of behaviors are exhibited by the machine, means computers, laptops, even mobile phones or electronic machineries, when we are providing them the instructions. So lecture number 1 is to introduce you with the programming. By default, it is computer programming that we will be discussing about, that what a programming is in fact and why we are using the programming. Why do we need to understand the fundamentals of programming languages? The fundamental question is, why programming? Yes, it is self-explanatory if we consider about the natural languages like English, Urdu, Saraiki, Sindhi, etc. The fundamental purpose of the programming languages or simple natural languages is to share the thoughts, is to communicate with other people, to order something, to request something, to perform any task. So very much similar that the computers or the electronic devices, these are in fact dumb machines. These machines cannot work without any taking the tangible steps to perform certain operations. So obviously the programmers, the scientists, the engineers, they have given us the ways to interact with this dumb machine. This machine is unable to do anything like human beings, that the humans are performing or taking different tasks automatically when they are needed. But these machines are in fact handicapped without receiving or sending any certain set of the instructions to perform certain tasks. Many things which are under our observations while we are using the mobile phones, you all are familiar with many applications of the computer, desktop computers, laptops or any electronic device. You are very much expert in operating the mobile phones how to retrieve the contact, how to dial the number, how to write the message, how to use the social network, and many other things. These things are designed in such a way that these operations should be user friendly. But the internal procedures or mechanics that is done very much hidden from the users, and different ports, different ways are exposed to the end users, means the person who are using the electronic devices. That if you want to see the contacts, you have to press this button or you have to touch this icon. So this interface is exposed to us. Similarly, writing the message, we know that this icon is used to write the message, and that is in fact the interface that is given by the designers to perform such operation. So I hope so that you must have some little foundation and you should understand all these activities. So the why programming, in fact nowadays in this era our civilization runs on the software. I hope so you have gone through this terminology, that is the software. Along with that, you also have heard the term hardware, and if you are having little more knowledge about the computers, another terminology that is known as the firmware. So in fact, this computer machine is the combination of software, hardware and firmware. So most engineering activities involve software. I don't think so that throughout your courses that you have studied before or you will study in coming semesters or in the running semester, there will not be the case that without using any computer or any gadget you can perform the practical works. Everywhere in every area you will find the use of the computers, simulators, machines or any other electronic equipments. For example, the education, this is one of the ways, this is one of the blessings that we are looking for, the online education. This is done through the use of computers and internet. So the education is the fundamental area in which we have the use of computers and software. You are making the different assignments, you are playing the games, You are performing any simulation. Simulation का मतलब ये है कि कोई रियल टाइम इन्वायरमेंट हो, उसको आप साइमुलेट करें, मीन्स कंप्यूटर के ज़रिए उसको एग्जीक्यूट करें. मिसाल के तौर पे न्यूक्लियर एक्सपेरिमेंट that is not done directly or physically, rather they are simulated. Their intensity is different, their different parameters are to be simulated, that what will be the propagation of this, what will be the effect of this nuclear experiment. For example, weather forecast. Weather forecasting, it never means that we are moving to see the weather around the sea, around the rivers, around the world, but different sensors are retrieving the different parameters, and ultimately they are simulated, they are accumulated on a particular software that is installed or available on the PCs, and these PCs are analyzing these parameters. Based on these parameters, the weather forecasting is done. In education, we are performing numerous of experiments on the PCs. For example, this course that we are learning at the moment, it is based upon the practical work on the machine, to become familiar with the different programming languages. This is in fact the part of the education. On the other hand, we are having the healthcare units. This healthcare units, number of appliances, number of equipments are there in which the software or the use of the computers is available. For example, X-ray machines, MRI machines, ultrasounds, as well as ventilators. These ventilators are in fact programmed by the engineers with the close consultation of the experts in the medical field, doctors. And when there is some catastrophic situation the patient is facing, the ventilator should be activated automatically. This is done through the different programming. In this particular discussion that we are saying that the ventilator should be activated, one more dimension is there. Assume the scenario, a patient is suffering from, or he or she is serious, and this is the need that the ventilator should be activated. And for example, that ventilator is not going to be activated at a certain time, at a particular time when the patient needs, what will happen? Obviously, the answer is there are more chances of the catastrophe. The patient can lose his life. So these machines must be designed in a very fast and efficient, responsive nature. In other words, we say that there must be some real-time programming and more intensified if I say that they must be designed in hard real-time systems. There is no compromise on the life. Hard real-time systems are based upon the time constraints that at this spike or at this moment of time the system must be activated. So how it is done? Through the different techniques of the programming. Another example is transportation. In transportation, we are having many things. For example, in buses, in cars, you will find a number of sensors which provide different kinds of information on different panels of the screens. For example, the sensors are showing the speed, the fuel availability, whether the doors of the cars are closed or not, whether the driver has fastened the belt, and the number of gear that is pushed. So all these information are retrieved through the sensors, and these complete information is accumulated or stored somewhere, and these stored data is the cause to take certain actions. Industries is one of the very important areas in which the programming is used. For example, controlling the material, controlling the volume of the material, controlling the weight, controlling the humidity, and many other control operations are done through these programming languages. The mixture of the materials, they are not nowadays done through the human intervention, and these industries have almost become automized. Another area is social communities, and these social communities means many applications, many apps that we are using are supported by the social communities. Say for example, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, and many other social communities are there. Social networks are there, I mean to say. Similarly, we are having more examples looking at very superficial parameters. For example, the ships are there, These ships are having different stages of designing, construction, management, monitoring, engine, hull design, pumps, and many other parts or the components are there, and each this parameter, every parameter are in fact simulated through the computers. In fact, different powerful software are there which are used for to perform or to design the certain part of the ships. Means, for example, if we want to design the shape of the ship, and the particular software might be there. If we would like to work upon the engine design, obviously another software may help to design such kind of the engine. Management tools are available there. As we have discussed, another example is the aircraft. The aircrafts must have very reliable communication. It must have some very powerful control. As we have heard many times that the plane is having more than one engines. If one engine fails, the second engine must be up instantaneously. If that engine is not up, it means there are more chances of the catastrophe. और दूसरे इंजन का अप ना होना एक बहुत बड़ी तबाही का सबब बन सकता है. So these control mechanisms are also programmed through some programming languages. Again, the display panel is there, and this display panel is also programmed. For example, if I give you a very simple example that you have gone through the experience. For example, आप जब भी कीबोर्ड से कोई चीज़ लिखते हैं, MS वर्ड वगैरह पे, ये जो आप डिफरेंट कीज़ को प्रेस करते हैं, ये स्क्रीन पे ही क्यों आती हैं? ये स्पीकर की तरफ जानी चाहिए, किसी और USB पोर्ट की तरफ जानी चाहिए, लेकिन नहीं, ये स्क्रीन पे ही डिस्प्ले होती हैं. This is not done automatically. In fact, this is done because the programming has been written in such a way that when you are pressing the keyboard keys, when you are using the application MS Word or any other, that must be displayed on the screen, that must be displayed on the display unit. On the other hand, we are having signal processing in this aircraft example. This signal processing unit must be programmed, obviously, and different gadget control mechanism must be there. Some monitoring tool must be there, and all these components, tools, equipments, parts are working with the help of programming languages. Yes, obviously these are high class of the programming language. This is not only the desktop programming language, this is real-time programming language and techniques. Another example, very common example, is the phones, especially cellular phones, mobile phones that is in your hands. Many things are there, many features are there. For example, voice quality, user interfaces are there. You are performing different billings. Mobility is there. You are processing the different images. You are watching the different video clips. And these mobile phones must be reliable. And provisioning means it should provide the data that the user intend. Again, recalling you that all this is hidden from the user, how the internally equipment or machine is working. Yes, for example, I ask one question that if I want to ask you a question, then the simple sentence that I will be using, that is the what is your name. This is a sentence, in fact, that is the interface between you and me. You will think that whenever someone asks this sentence, I have to answer my name. But how you are retrieving your name from your mind biologically? Whether you are retrieving your name from the brain, in Saraiki, in English, or any other language, this is totally hidden from me. But I know that what kind of interface is there. If I want to know your name, I must have to ask, what is your name? Tell me your name. Who are you? So this is in fact the mobile phones and their features, and I hope so that you are more expert to perform, to use, to operate this mobile phone. In energy sector, again, these energy sectors are having some control rooms, some control sectors. The monitoring is done, analysis is done, design. For example, in this particular picture, the wind energy is the source of energy, and how this wind energy is converted into an electrical energy. Obviously it must have to perform certain steps, and these steps must be monitored, stabilized. Analysis must be there, that through the available data you can observe that what is the time slot, or what is the rate of the producing energy is either high in morning or evening, and so on. What should be the direction of the wind tower or wind fan that is producing more energy. So all this is done through the software. In fact, the designs are, again, as we have discussed in a few slides back, that design is done through the different software, communications is there, visualization, manufacturing is done through the different software. The last example is the PC, tablet, workstation or desktop PCs, mobile phones. These are in fact the examples of the programming in which the programming languages are used. There is a lot more to computing than games, word processing, browsing. We are very used to use the browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Mozilla. And spreadsheets, for example Excel, MS Word, PowerPoint, some VCD cutter, VCD player, some Studio 3D Max, NS2 network simulator, and many applications are there which are done successfully through the computer programming. So I hope so that you enjoyed this one and you should have some fundamentals or some foundation related to the programming, and this is in fact the introduction to the programming, and inshallah we will understand more about programming language in next lectures. Thank you very much.